All right. We are good. We are on the roll. Okay,
Yay.
so hey, so my name is Jennifer and I run Coastal Magic Convention. And with me right now is Nina Crespo, who is going to be a featured author at Coastal Magic Convention. And we are going to do a little Q&A for her spotlight in the reading challenge, which hopefully all of you are participating in. I know a lot of people have already read some of Nina's books and are enjoying them. So if you have not yet, get on that. Um, First thing that we're going to talk about is the book that Nina just had released recently, and that's called Her Sweet Temptation. It's part of the Tilbert Stable stories. So why don't you let us know a little bit about Her Sweet Temptation?
Well, Her Sweet Temptation, it's part of the Tilbridge Stable series. And the Tilbridge Stable series combines some family saga drama, along with, of course, some romance. If you like things that are kind of more on the sexy romantic side, then the Tilbridge series definitely fits into that. It's about a family the hero and his two cousins. It's a little different. He has the hero and his two cousins, they run a horse farm in Maryland. And so they are trying to maintain their family legacy. And along the way, of course, they run into some challenges. But in the
As
end,
you do.
yes, as you do, as one does. But at the end, they find their happily ever afters. And so in Her Sweet Temptation, it involves Rena and the stuntman, who is part of a film that is a movie that's being filmed on the property. And so it's kind of an opposites attract sort of thing, because he's more on the bad boy side and she's trying to reform her ways and not get involved with bad boys. So it is, just a nice, fun, romantic story about two people who wouldn't necessarily find each other, but under the circumstances they do, and find their way to happily ever after.
Yay.
Yay. And what's
We
great
all
about the Tilbridge series that I love is that it features African-American cowboys and African-American cowgirls, which is something you don't always see.
That's
And
true.
yeah, and so some people wonder, they go, well, is there really horse farms or ranches in Maryland? And the answer is yes, there is.
That's cool. Have you ever visited any, or did you do research to find any of those farms?
Well, it's interesting how this story came to me. There's actually a group called the Cowgirls of Color, and they had
Okay.
a spread, and I forget which magazine, but it was a lovely, pictorial, spread plus an interview of who they are and their love of horses. And a few months later, an editor had mentioned, hey, I read this article and I'm looking for someone who might want to write about, African-American cowgirls. So it just was meant to be that we had both read this article. And
That's
so I was
fantastic.
so I was just really intrigued about their background and how they got involved.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to check out any of the stables and such in
Right.
Maryland, but definitely getting into the research online
Right.
and talking to people about people who have had the experience
Mhm.
of, riding and taking care of horses,
That's
being able
cool.
to have those one-on-one conversations with them. So it was
Very
fun doing
cool.
research. Yeah.
Excellent. One thing I noticed, the first book and the second book both involved actors and actresses. Like that whole acting world is included in with all of these cowboys and horses and whatnot. How did that happen? Did you ever have any aspirations of being an actor or an actress, or do you have a fascination with that? How did that become part of the story?
That's interesting. In the planning process, I really don't know how that came about. It just sort of fit that, oh, well, what can we do that is just so unusual? Well, let's have a movie being filmed on the property.
Right.
But again, doing the research was very interesting, because I did get a chance to sit down with someone who is an actress and a producer and a director, to
Nice.
be able
Very
to get
nice.
an understanding of that world. And so she was just very generous with her time. Her name is Nadine Nagamatsu. And so just being able to spend some time with her and hearing her thoughts on things and
Right.
being able to run things through as a sounding board to say, hey, is this too far-fetched if we do this?
Mm-hmm.
So, if anything is too far-fetched in there, that's on me, not Nadine. That's my
Right.
creative license in trying to get the story, pulled together.
Right. Well, that's cool. That's fun. I was envisioning some, when you were 4, you wanted to be an actress, and so now you've built it into your stories. Maybe one day. Maybe one day.
Maybe one day.
Maybe you can play one of the characters in the television movie of your book.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Just don't ask me to ride the horse. We're good as long as I don't have to ride the horse. I can identify, because in the first book, the heroine Chloe is afraid of horses, but she has
Ah,
to learn to ride one for the part that she's auditioning for.
right.
So
Mm-hmm.
I could really get into her, feeling about horses, because I'm sitting
Right.
there, thinking to myself, when's the last time that I've read a horse or been around a horse?
Mm-hmm.
It's been a while. So yeah, I
Gotcha.
can definitely relate.
That's funny. Okay, so maybe we'll story cast the movie for other actors and actresses then. Okay, so that is the book that just came out. That was Her Sweet Temptation, just came out at the end of September.
Yes.
Next up for you, busy lady, is The Last Rule of Makeups, which is the Breakup Bash series number 3.
Yes.
So tell us about the Breakup Bash series.
Wow. Well, the Breakup Bash series involves 3 friends who have gone through harsh breakups. And so instead of um, being sad about them, they decide that they are going to celebrate that they have gone through these breakups and that they are moving on to something better.
Mm-hmm.
And so they attend a party called the Breakup Bash. And at this party, they unexpectedly find love. And so,
As you do.
yeah, as one does. And again, the research with this one was really interesting, because I just, as you're kind of killing time, scrolling through the internet, came across some stories about just this, women
Mm-hmm.
celebrating their breakups and having reverse bachelorette parties and falling
Oh
in love
goodness.
with the guy that came to dance at the party and
Mm-hmm.
all different things. So it intrigued me, and that's why I decided to go ahead and write that story.
Well, there you go. Well,
Yeah.
I made a note to ask you if you had any interesting breakup stories that found their way into the books. Um,
For me,
yeah. Is anybody going to read this and be like, "Hey, that sounds familiar"?
let's hope not. Sincerely hope not. But I mean, one thing that was kind of interesting that actually came up in the last book with the Last Rule of Makeups. I had an opportunity to sit down with a DJ. He has oh, I guess you could say a podcast and also a website, The Passionate DJ. His name is
Okay.
David Michael, very nice guy. And so he helped kind of, once the book was done, I wanted to kind of do some fact checking. And so
Okay.
during our conversation, I happened to mention that at one time I had dated a DJ and it didn't quite work out because he was always busy. I
Right.
was working, he's working nights. Yes, it was fun getting in the club, for free, hanging out in the
Mm-hmm.
VIP room and doing those things.
Right.
But, he wasn't there for me to dance with. He wasn't there for me to party with.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, he was busy all the time. And so I happened to mention this to David Michael, and I was like, hey, how does that work with your relationships? And apparently my relationship was an anomaly because he and his friends, their wives, which was really cool that their wives are, on that level of understanding that this is
Mm-hmm.
what they do for a living. And, they're okay with the amount of time that maybe,
So they're
you
apart.
know, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Well, that's when you just sidle up next to him and hang out in the DJ booth for a little while.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
definitely.
For a little bit, and then you go hang out with the girlfriends.
Yeah,
You make it work. You can make it work.
definitely. Well, that's what in this last book, that's what Corey, did. She
Mm-hmm.
definitely was able to work it out in terms of, being there by his side when she
Right.
didn't believe about distracting him, and being
Mm-hmm.
after that. Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Um, there were the those two are both contemporary romances, but you also have a series of paranormal, like fantasy, um, urban fantasy. Well, I don't know. I wouldn't say necessarily urban fantasy. I would say more just like paranormal romances that very much intrigued me. Um, yes. So I'm gonna say 4 words, and then you can explain those 4 words to me. Okay. Time traveling covert agent.
Mm. Okay, so the
All
song
over to
series,
you.
all over to me. So the song series, this is a series that is, I think I started writing that, or the first book came out in like 2015, I want to say. So
Mm-hmm.
it's been a while. You're
It
asking me to
has it
kind of,
has been a while, but the thing that caught my attention was those 4 words, and then also I'm a music junkie, so the idea that the whole thing involves a band was like ding 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 ding. Those were the first books. Actually, those were the first books that I ever noticed you for. Like I knew your name because of that series. So
okay,
yeah.
okay, that's nice to know.
Mm-hmm.
The song series was something that. Um, when I wrote the first book, it was just kind of like, oh, because I like to read fantasy paranormal. So I said, well, let's see if I could write one. And I honestly never expected it to become a series. The publisher came back and said, hey, do you want to make this a series?
Mm-hmm.
And so the whole idea of time traveling covert operatives really speaks to my interest in, number one, alpha heroes and military.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that I definitely like. The idea of time travel, um, at the time, there were some things that were going on that I just felt that if I could go back in time,
Mm-hmm.
there are some things that I maybe would want to do or change.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the fact of sometimes not having enough time with
Right.
people you love. And so that kind of went in the book as well,
Mm-hmm.
to be able to have these time traveling covert operatives save the world, you
Right.
know, and just be able to have that opportunity of manipulating time. So that's
Mm-hmm.
where my head was when I
Gotcha.
wrote those books. Yeah.
Yeah. I just it made me happy. That's all. That's I mean I know that they're older books, but they make me happy and I felt like I needed to mention them.
That's fine. Because it's actually a series that if I ever had an opportunity to revisit, I would.
Well, here's my question to you. Would you, if you could, would you go back 50 years or go forward 50 years for like
Mm,
one day?
for one day, I'd want to go forward.
Yeah?
I want to see what's going on. I want to see where we are and what we're doing. Because I particularly love the idea of space travel. So I
Mm-hmm.
hope at that time that, we're
Ooh.
like having the opportunity as civilians to take
Mm-hmm.
trips
Having
out to
birthday
like,
parties on Mars?
yeah, I love that.
What are you doing for your birthday? Oh, I'm just gonna take a little trip.
Just hanging out at the space station, no big deal.
Yeah, no big deal. Okay, so I think there are all of you that are reading for the reading challenge, or even if you have not started reading for the reading challenge and you're just reading in general. Definitely check out Nina's books. She's got the series that we mentioned. She's got other books in addition to those. Definitely worth looking into. Um, I had a special request when we were setting up this interview the other day. She had mentioned that her husband had made a specific drink for her, and I was like, make sure that you do that again for our Q&A. And we're going to have the recipe posted in the comments. But tell us what you're drinking, Miss Nina.
Well, my favorite is a lemon drop cocktail, or it's actually a lemon drop martini. And so,
Oh, nice.
yeah, so couldn't find the martini glasses, but this works just fine.
What's
Um,
inside is what matters.
yeah, what's inside, because it's nice and cool. And so the key to making a good lemon drop cocktail, because it has sweet and sour mix,
Mhm.
vodka, triple sec, but for me, you have to make your own sweet and sour mix, not buy.
Interesting.
You have to make it because it's really
How
easy.
hard is it to make though?
Oh, it's so simple. It's
Oh,
just
okay.
water and sugar because you boil it. It's a simple syrup basically. So
Mm-hmm.
you're boiling down the syrup and then you add in lemon juice and lime juice and you get it to that nice
Gotcha.
consistency. And so it makes it nice and fresh. So yeah. And we're
Well, there
also
you go.
growing our own Myers lemons right now. So we have to be able to use them.
Ooh,
It's
nice.
the perfect way to do this. Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. So do any of your characters drink lemon drop cocktails or martinis?
They don't drink lemon drop cocktails, but at the breakup bash, they do drink hasta la vista cocktails.
Ooh, and how is that different?
Well, the hasta la vista is just kind of like a punch, basically. It's a punch.
Ah,
basically.
gotcha. Gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha, gotcha. Okay, so again, we're going to have the recipe for that drink in the comments. So if anybody wants to make that, you'll be able to do that. Okay, so that is the book chat that I have for you for right now. We're doing this for Coastal Magic, which is a convention that is held in February in Daytona. So my next question for you is, how do you feel about conventions in general? And do you have any fun convention stories to share?
Well, I like conventions in general. I just started going to them, I want to say around 2018.
Okay.
Bit of an introvert, and then someone said you need to go to these conventions and meet readers and people and other authors. And so once I started going, definitely it was a wonderful and has been a wonderful experience to be able to connect with other authors, to be able to connect with readers, to be able to sign books. It's just a nice, fulfilling experience that actually refills the well a little bit. Because you're sitting in front of the computer, you're all by yourself, and you're wondering, well, does anybody like this? Does anybody want this?
Yeah.
And then you go to a convention and you find out that, for me, if I've made one person smile, like you said with the song series that made you, then hey, it makes it worthwhile.
Right.
Now, as far as stories, well, the one that comes to mind is, and I'll see if I can tell the abbreviated version, because it was definitely, it was definitely, I don't even know how
Not
to
abbreviated?
Yeah, I have to tell the abbreviated version.
Okay.
So my friend and fellow author, Michelle Aris, and I went to the RT convention that was in Reno.
Okay.
And so, we decided we're going to fly together. We're going to room together. It's going to be great. So we're getting ready to fly out of the airport in Baltimore. And of course, there's bad weather and we're grounded.
Oh, no.
For a period of time. So we're like, okay, not a problem.
Right.
We have time to get there. So then the plane takes off. We get to Chicago. Bad weather follows us.
Oh, no.
We're circling in the air. And they say, well, we don't have enough fuel to get back to Baltimore. So we're going to have to go to this little airport. I don't even know where it is, but it was an airport that they normally have passengers at. It's where they repaired the planes. So when all the passengers got off, the management there was not fully prepared for a bunch of passengers who were just, irritated and frustrated.
Right. Tired. Yeah.
Tired. So, this is about 2 a.m. that we get to this place. There's only like one Uber Lyft driver in town and we happen to get her. We get to the hotel, all of us, and they weren't prepared at all, because apparently the people at the airport were like, just get rid of them. And so we're standing in line to get our room, and then the desk person says, we're like the next person, and the desk person says, there's no more rooms. So I guess Michelle and our faces just we looked pitiful. I'm sure we did. So the guys that got the room felt really bad, I guess, and they were gentlemen. They gave us
we're gonna go with that. We're gonna go with they were gentlemen.
They gave us the room. So we get 3 or 4 hours of sleep. We get to the airport, delays again, finally make it to Chicago, more delays. I am at the point where I am ready to spend $1 million, billion, jillion dollars just to get out of Chicago. I really was. I had it. Michelle did not think that was a good idea.
Probably not a good idea. Yeah.
So we're bickering like, old married couple about the situation. So finally they ended up splitting us up because she had the VIP treatment because, she's a frequent flyer type person. I did not. So I was put on a different airline, had to go through California, and the flight that I went out on was the very last one. It was at like after midnight, but it was what I call the gambler's flight because everyone on there was going to Reno, and apparently this is something they do every week. So like, the flight attendants, they know everybody by name, the pilots know the people. So I finally arrive in Reno at 2 a.m. Michelle is already tucked in bed.
They should really allow people a +1 when they have those little special perk things.
I know. So we get maybe 3-4 hours of sleep. We walk into breakfast for RT, and that's when they announce it's the last RT ever. So that was our experience of the RT convention. That never to relive again.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah, it was like the Groundhog Day of flights, and so
oh no,
we never want that again. We laugh about it now. It was not
right,
then, but yeah.
Well, that's too bad. I wish you'd have been able to go a few years before then. I had a lot of fun. I went to 3 or 4 of the RTs, and they're insane. And when I say insane, I mean like capitalized letters with exclamation points and the whole 9 yards. Absolutely ridiculous, but so much fun.
Yeah, well, that's why we wanted to go. We were all excited, and
yeah,
didn't work out.
Well, that's what Book Lovers Con is for.
Yes.
You do Book Lovers Con. It's another one of those big ones where there's, thousands of people all over everywhere. And the nice thing about that, one of the things that I like about really big conventions is the ones that are done right, the ones that are done organized well, which Book Lovers Con is. I go to Dragon Con every year, and it is the people who, like me, that thrive on all of the crazy and the chaos. We will find exactly what we are looking for. But people who don't, people who need to have that kind of step away time, there's always ways to do that. There's always a room you can go to, or a group that you can go hang out with that's kind of just chilling out and relaxing. And there's ways that you can step away and kind of be, a little bit, for people who are introverts, be a little bit introverted and still be able to then step back in and be a part of the crazy again. So that's always fun. So if you have not yet, definitely check out Book Lovers Con, because I think that will be a nice substitute for you to be able to have that experience.
Yeah, because I was supposed to go this year in Nashville.
Oh, good, yeah.
So of course didn't get to go.
Yeah.
My other favorite, Lori Foster, I had an opportunity to sub for someone.
Oh, that's cool.
That was a very nice one to go to. And then I go to Shameless. I've been going to Shameless BookCon for years now, and that one's been fun. Yeah.
I haven't been to Lori Foster. I think I went to Shameless. I feel like I went to Shameless the first year, but I don't think I've been back since then. I need to. My budget for going to conventions is nowhere near what I would like it to be.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry?
I said, I know the feeling.
Yeah, it's nowhere near what I would like it to be. So between Dragon Con, which I do every single year, and then running my own convention, that takes up a lot of time out of my schedule that I'm allowed to take days off to be able to go to conventions.
Yeah.
So I would like to, especially since Shameless is right here in Florida.
Yes.
Florida is very lucky in that we have probably 8 or 10 different annual book events that are super, super fun. There's quite a few, like just little local signings, and then also full weekend events. So if anybody's looking for places to go and things to do, Florida's got you covered. Shameless, I think, is in October each year, right?
Yeah,
I
normally
believe.
October. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, fun stuff. Fun stuff. Okay, so we've got a few more minutes. We're trying to hit right around the 30-minute mark, so we'll see how we go. I have some just kind of random, silly questions for you. So we'll see how these go. If you had only one book that you could read forever and ever and ever, you were only ever allowed to read one book, the same book over and over again, what book would it be?
Oh, that's tough. That's a hard question. You're supposed
I
to give
didn't
me
say it was going to be an easy question.
um I will, I guess the first, the one that is like on my mind right now, Sin and Ink by Naima Simone.
Okay, why that book?
Um, well, it's steamy, it's sexy. The hero is just yummy, and so I think it would just be the good distraction that I would need.
There you go. There you go. If you, or not if you, what book do you like to recommend and or give to people as gifts? I have a collection of books that anytime anybody needs a book, I pull from that and here, take this one. What book do you like to give to people?
Um, I don't know if there's a book, but I do like to recommend authors.
Okay.
And so Tessa Bailey, I think, put some fabulous books out there.
Okay.
Again, Naima Simone is somebody that I would mention.
I'm noticing a theme there.
Yeah. Michelle Aris,
Okay.
she's someone who has some good books out there as well. And Juliet Cross, I love
Okay.
her fantasy paranormal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice.
Anything by those authors, snap them up.
There you go. I like it. And we'll put a list with links in the comments for when you're watching this video in case you want to go check out any of those people. They'll be in the comments. I'm stealing this question from James Lipton, who also stole it from someone else. Okay. So what is your favorite word and what is your least favorite word?
Ooh, my favorite word?
Just say it. Just say it. Don't giggle. Just say it. I mean, well, you can giggle, but say it too.
Well, my favorite word that I say a lot in my head and in my books is fuck. It really,
okay.
that word just seems to fit in. It can be used in various ways.
There you go. There you go. Various applications.
Yeah. My least favorite word is unforgiving.
Ah.
I'm someone that definitely believes in the more optimistic side of things. You know, mm-hmm. if people or things are not terribly evil and, mm-hmm. and just so nasty and horrible to the world, then I think that being able to give people second chances is important. And it's also, you know, in the sense of forgiveness, it's just good for your own heart.
I agree. I like it. I like it. Okay, so last thing, super fast, this or that. Ready?
Okay.
Are you ready? Okay. If you, for the next 24 hours, would you rather be really hot or really cold?
Hot.
Hot. Okay. Brand new movie coming out. Are you going to want to go to the theater or see it on a streaming platform?
Streaming platform.
Okay. Call or text?
Call.
Really? Okay. Yeah. A lot more people are saying text now than call these days, which I think is interesting.
I want to call. I want to talk. I want to chat. I have 3-4 hour long conversations with my girlfriends. So
mm-hmm. Call. Oh, that's fun. There you go.
Yeah.
Excellent. Road trip or plane trip?
Ooh, road trip.
Road trip? I love road trips. We'll have to do that on the next conversation. We'll have to talk about our favorite road trips. And I think I know the answer to this question, but I wrote it before I talked to you. So Facebook or Twitter?
Oh, Facebook.
Really? Okay.
I prefer Instagram, but
oh, I should have put Instagram on there. I should have put Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. Yeah. That's okay. So, yeah. So we'll make sure that we put your Instagram in the comments as well.
Yes.
So follow.
That's my happy place.
There we go. I like it. I like it. Okay, so that is my time for questions. and our time really for the Q&A of this. So why don't we finish up by letting us know what you have coming out the rest of the year. Coastal Magic is going to be happening virtually in February, so if you want to let us know what you've got coming out till then. Reading challenge participants will have a chance to read whatever it is that you've got coming.
Okay.
And then we will chat with you again another time.
Yay.
So what do we have coming up?
So what's on deck? I mean, as we talked about, Last Rule of Makeups comes out on October 12th.
Right.
Then I have the third book in the Tilbridge series comes out the end of January, beginning of February.
Okay.
The Cowgirls Surprise Match. And then in May, I'm part of a continuity series with Harlequin. That is part of the Fortunes. So that series is coming out in May as well, or the book in that series.
Very cool.
Although
Now
in a Fortune.
Gotcha. Okay, so the Tilbrook and the Breakup Batch, those are both contemporaries. Do you have any other paranormals coming up anytime soon or no?
Not anytime soon.
Not anytime soon. Okay. Just checking. Just checking. I always have it in the back of my head. What's new can I add to my paranormal TBR list? So,
but it'll come in the future. Definitely.
I am a patient person, so that is all good. All right, my dear. Well, I appreciate you taking some time to chill out and talk with us today.
I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me.
No problem at all. And we will do this again another time.
All right. Take care.
Yes, ma'am. Bye-bye.